Ms. I'm sorry, Ms. Spites. Am I pronouncing your name properly? Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true? All right, can you speak up a little bit for me? Okay, I hear you now. You can put your hand down. You're before the court on simple battery count 1, simple battery count 2, and use of fighting words count 3. Your attorney, Mr. Kamani, has indicated that you wish to enter a plea of nolo to counts 1 and 2. Count 3, use of fighting words, will be dismissed. By doing that, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Factual basis and recommendation, please. There's a little bit of a delay with the jail also, so I'm hearing her, but it takes a second. All right, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Spites has been in custody since September 26th of 2022. However, on February 12th of 2022, an officer was dispatched to an active fight at the Atlanta airport. Ms. Spites was observed striking Ms. Tamika Jones. She struck her with a closed fist. After getting Ms. Spites to calm down, she was put to the side, set to the side, and she was led away from the grounds. After further review, it was also determined there was an incident that occurred prior to that in the food court of the airport where Ms. Spites was observed attacking Ms. Alexis Watson. And that concludes the facts, Your Honor. And I do believe that the Ms. Jones and Ms. Watson are here to speak. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kamani, anything before we hear the recommendation? Anything on behalf of Ms. Spites?
Nothing further, Your Honor. You may just accept the recommendations, Your Honor.
All right, and let me hear the recommendation, and then I'll hear from Ms. Jones and Ms. Watson if they wish to make a statement.
Yes, Your Honor. For counts 1 and 2, 12 months to serve 20 days. Credit for the time served and the balance to be suspended, and count 3 would be no pros.
She would be good now.
All right, so Ms. Watson or Ms. Jones, do either of you wish to have make a statement at this time?
I do. I'm Ms. Jones. I'm Alexis.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm not sure how you and Ms. Spites are acquainted, so just if you could tell me that too.
My daughter is Alexis Watson. I got the phone call that they had jumped her, which my daughter had been reporting to her job. The manager told me he was going to make sure she's safe. They followed her to the train station. So this day when they did jump her, I parked the car outside the airport. I asked the officer to walk me in. He kept walking. I said, "Who jumped my daughter?" She came all in my face. Me, jumped in it. Another officer walked me outside. As me and the officer were walking outside, she didn't care the officer right there. She swung at me. And the officer still did not do nothing until he seen his sergeant coming. When he seen his sergeant coming, he snapped on the ground. And then her other friend who got bonded out, she tried to fight me while they had her on the ground.
All these people work at the airport or work at the airport?
Yes, ma'am. They work with my daughter.
Okay. All right. Ms. Spites, what was going on, ma'am? That all this fighting had to take at your place at your job.
My daughter she was a new employee.
No, hold on, Ms. Jones. I just want to hear from Ms. Spites. What was going on?
Altercation over a piece of paper apparently, but I never said
Okay,
anything.
at the jail, I'm gonna need y'all to turn it up a little bit because I'm old. This straining to hear her is about to drive me crazy. Okay. Now, what happened again? Speak up, Miss Fights.
Apparently it was a altercation between her and my cousin about a piece of paper. I never said anything to neither of the victims. When I was sitting in the food court, they got up and I sat where they sat and charged my phone, and I saw them walking back with a male, and the male and them surrounded me at the table, and my cousin seen me, and she was just like, what's going on and stuff like that. And he was like, he was gonna shoot us in the whole airport up, and my cousin just instantly got mad.
And then that's how the fight started.
That's how the fight started.
Ooh, okay.
No,
So
ma'am.
I get, I'm sure there's some facts missing, some I'm not getting. But let me just say this, Miss Fights. The one thing you don't want to do, is fight at your job. The second thing you definitely don't want to do is fight at an airport where there's cameras everywhere. But the third thing is, ma'am, there are very few things that you need to fight for. I know everybody's like, well, my cousin is in it, I'm gonna back her up and fight for her. But really, once you get past the age of 14, 15, that's just ridiculous at that point. Past that point, you have to mature to the point where fighting ain't your first response. We clear? Because did your cousin spend some time in jail?
I don't know. I wasn't talking to her at the time. She was in jail.
Okay, because here's my thing. You in jail, this happened, you've been in jail for a minute, since September, and you still in jail. You probably lost your job. You've suffered all these consequences over what you say was your cousin having an issue over a piece of paper and somebody coming in. Now, if somebody came into the airport and threatened to shoot up the airport, the first thing you should have done was walked over to one of the thousands of police officers at the airport and said, hey, dude just said he gonna shoot up the airport, and you wouldn't have had no more problems. None at all. But instead, you chose to handle it yourself instead of taking it to the people who've been trained to handle this kind of stuff, are paid to handle this kind of stuff, and are ever present. Like if I was at my house, I would have to call the police. But if I'm at the airport, all I have to do is look to my left or my right, and there's a police officer somewhere close. I need you to use your head, Miss Spites. I need you to not react out of emotion, but to react out of thinking. Think first. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Because the last thing you need to do is always, I turn around, you in a green or a tan jumpsuit, standing in front of a white concrete wall. That's not how you want to live your life. If I can't do nothing else in this job, it's to get young people to think. And Miss Watson, you knew you were coming to court. Why is there a bonnet on your head, ma'am? A bonnet is not a piece of clothing. It's just like people used to put pink rollers in their hair. If court ain't one of the places where your hair got to be right, court, church, and your job, 3 places that your hair should be right. A bonnet ain't no thing that you should be wearing to court. This is court. This is like if you came into the building. I'm just giving you the opportunity to come in by Zoom. But I could stop all this and make everybody come into court. People miss their jobs and everything. Dress like you want to be perceived as serious about the undertaking that you're involved in. Don't nobody want to see your bonnet. That's for night sleeping. I don't know when we got to this point where we have lost the ability to have some respect for ourselves, to dress like we want to be taken seriously, to dress appropriately for the situation. Ain't nobody need to see your bonnet. Yes, ma'am, Miss Jones.
I don't know if you know or not. I didn't work there. My daughter worked there. I came
You said
Okay.
you came there in response to your daughter being
to
bullied.
pick her up. Yes.
Right, I got that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is all of these young people need to know that we can't continue to act like we just hanging out in the streets. There's appropriate things for appropriate things. Your mama is sitting at her job. She ain't wearing no bonnet. She's addressed appropriately for where she is. But you thought it was okay, Miss Watson, to come here with your big fluffy bonnet on your head. So let's just be mindful of those things. I need these young folk to grow up and to mature. And now you're not even looking at me because you're mad because I'm fussing at you. But that's not going to change what I'm saying.
No, I'm telling my Lyft driver where to go.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, Miss Spites, I'm going to sentence you on count 1 to 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for time served, balance suspended, as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia, and that you do not go back to the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport unless you have a ticket for travel on that day. For the next 12 months, you and the airport don't have no business with each other unless you have a ticket for travel. And then count 2 will be concurrent with count 1, 12 months to serve 20 days, credit for time served, balance suspended, same conditions. All right.
Do her cousin get any charges?
I don't know about her cousin, ma'am. If her cousin was on my calendar, I either already dealt with it or I will deal with it.
Okay, I know Miss Dixon told me that she was locked up and she bailed out.
But everybody doesn't come on my calendar.
Okay.
So it goes in it's like spread out. So there's 5 state court judges. Somebody else may have gotten her case. If it was a co-defendant case, I should get it, but I don't know if I've either dealt with it already or if I'm going to deal with it in the future. If she bond out, it's likely it's on another calendar for the future.
Okay.
Ms. Jones, if you would just stay in contact with my office, Ms. Maria Dillard should be in contact with.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Y'all are free to go at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get the facts straight. She loves a verbal ashtray. Never blowing smoke when she gets pissed. She's quick to castrate. Love her on a good day. Love her on a bad day. Either way, she's here to stay. Call up holy, 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 holy.